Should you slime your coworker? This question, this obvious question, has been asked mentally by workers among the nation, among the world. If you have a job, you obviously have coworkers, and you know that you have at least one coworker that you just want to slime out. It's just an indisputable fact. It happens. We have that one person everywhere. Now, to get to our little presentation here, our little extra PowerPoint presentation, our EPP, I do not condone any violence against anyone at all, right? Now, what I say in this video might how do I say it? Be the opposite of what I'm about to condone, not condone. I don't condone violence, right? What I'm about to say is going to not sound like that. Because we're going to be talking about coworkers, because I condone violence against coworkers. So that being said, now that I've gotten that out of the way, right? YouTube, don't flag this, right? This is purely for comedy. Should you slime your coworker? Well, the short answer is yes. Like that is outright obvious answer. Yes, you should. You should definitely just go ahead and do it. I mean, reason being, like who are they? Right? I mean, who are they really? I mean, do they have families? I mean, probably. They have friends, probably. But they're making your life bad. And when you're working, trying to get a job done, and they're preventing you excelling at your job and in your life, well then, what the fuck is the point of them breathing, right? What makes a coworker? So obviously, not all coworkers are bad, right? It's like white people and cops. Like, oh, not all cops are bad, but you do when you have a bad coworker, it ruins the whole fucking bunch, doesn't it? Same thing with a lot of stuff. One bad apple. Does a bad apple ruin the bunch? Yeah, it kind of does. You bite into that bad apple and you just fucking throw the whole basket away. That's how it works. At least for me. So we're gonna go over some aspects between what makes a good coworker and then a bad coworker. If you're wondering what the middle part of this Venn diagram is, well, that's just coworkers. I mean, that's the only relatable thing between these two. Because a good coworker will make your workday better. The day goes by faster. It doesn't feel like you're working, and it feels like you're paid to have fun. So these people, these good coworkers, will either be acquaintances that you can always go back to and talk to for the rest of your life. Maybe not friends, or at least for the point I'm trying to say, for at least maybe not friends, right? But you'll always like share stories, go back and talk to them, and they're always nice to talk to. Or on the adverse of that, these could be people that you could talk to for the rest of your life. I know some people who are going to be friends with the coworkers for the rest of their life. I mean, it sometimes a good coworker it's just a good friend at that point. Like, you're not it's not at that point they're not even coworkers, they're just friends. You're working with a friend. But that is a diamond in the rough. That is what we call an ideal situation, which in if you work any job, you never expect the ideal. You always expect the worst. You expect the worst because if worse happens, then you're not upset. That is the ideal work mentality. And bad coworkers always bring out the worst. So what entails a bad coworker? Well, they listen to shitty music. Now, I'm not gonna point out any specific band. Yeah, I am. So I think if they listen to like Suicide Boys, like religiously Suicide Boys, um, as far as like rap goes, like that's kind of bad. Any kind of like Point North. I have a friend who listens to Point North. Sorry, Josh. I gotta throw that out there. Like there's like, right? When you listen to your coworkers' music taste, like, what that is. I'm just kind of throwing names out there because it's more so a vibe. Because I feel like I feel like I could listen to Suicide Boys with someone else, and it might be fine. But then you listen to it with your coworker, and it's like, why are you listening to this? Does that make sense? And I think any parody songs, anything that's trying to be like overly complicated, any kind of music like that is the coworker music. That is like the coin term of coworker music. And if you the funny thing about the coworker music is you can have like you can just listen to pop music, or what popular songs of like the 80s, 90s, the 2000s. Like you could just listen to popular music that has just been going on throughout the years, and they'll be like, oh, your music taste is like really really good. Or you can listen to maybe like more niche into what you like. So if you like a lot of rock, you could listen to a bunch of different rock, and then they'll be like, oh, you like rock? Oh, I fucking love Queen. Oh, I love Nirvana. And then you play like Disturbed or Godsmack, which is a little bit heavier, and then they're like, dude, this is garbage. And then you listen to their music, and then you're questioning like, how the fuck are you not deaf? Do you have ears? Are like, what are the like? Do the earbuds just like go like? Do they bounce back and forth between the empty space in your head? Like what's going on? Like what is where is the music going when it goes into your ears, right? Because it just can't be real music. You would think that they go home, like their job that they're working right now is like their side job, and then that they go home and make music to listen at this job. That's the kind of music that these people listen to. Um, and I mean like, and look, before I move on to the next few points, I want to point out right now, I am very open to music taste. I will listen to almost anything. But my ears know when music sounds like shit. I will listen to anything. I will listen to any recommendations. I will give everything a try. But if I give it a try and I'm like, hey, it's not my thing, and then you get upset and you're like, well, why don't you like it? I'm not providing a fucking reason. I don't need to provide a reason. I just don't like it. That I don't like it is like the perfect reason. I just don't like it. I just do not like it. That is my reason, and that's it. Oh, but like, how come? I don't know, man. Whenever it goes into my ears, I want to almost set a uh I want to do bad things to no one but the person I see in the mirror, right? Like that's the kind of thing that that you feel when you listen to this kind of music. All right, to move on. These people are usually miserable, like they're just outright miserable, right? And they complain about a job, but they won't find another job. And like you go in, like I've worked some pretty offhand jobs. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, right? Like I go in and I'm not like I wasn't like the happiest soul working at Chuck E. Cheese, right? But it paid. I was living with my dad. Help pay for what I like to, spend money on, right? It paid for a lot of my expenses, phone bill, whatnot. And then I get these people who just come in and they're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Dude, I get it. It's a job, man. It sucks. It sucks taking away. It's Chuck E. Cheese. It's really like, I was going to say 8 hours, but it's really like 6 hours of your free time to come sit in front of a cash register. Like, I get it, man. It is excruciatingly painful. But everyone has bills. And the crazy thing is, like, at the time I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, I didn't have bills, right? Like, I didn't have bills, but I was in a management position, so I was making, like, okay money. Not a lot of stuff was getting taken out of my checks because of benefits and whatnot, but like I was making okay money, and then we would hire people who like actually need money, and like they're more grown than I was. Like I was 19, and then these adults, they're like, I don't want to, like, why am I working here? I don't want to work here, dude, because you have fucking kids. Like, what do you mean? Why are you working here, dog? You applied. I interviewed you. What the fuck? Like, you can't go into a job and then expect it to be like happy dandy. Like, yeah, it's fucking Chuck E. Cheese. You would think it'd be awesome. That's if you're going in to have fun. Like, you're going into work. Not all jobs are going to be, great. Like, you got to go into it. Thinking, oh, it's a job. It's work, right? You could be overly positive about it, but those overly positive coworkers about their job, those guys are weird. And we don't talk about them because they might try to make the environment fun, but they just make it kind of awkward. And then they'll complain about hours and pay, and then you talk to them and they're like, "Man, I just can't, I can't deal with this pay." Well, have you tried, applying to other places and getting other jobs? I know, like this place, like Chuck E. Cheese as an example, like this place doesn't really pay well for anyone below management, and even then, management doesn't really make that much. No, I haven't looked. I kind of just been chilling. What do you mean chilling? Where was chilling when you were just complaining about pay and having to feed your kids like Chef Boyardee for dinner? Like, where's the chilling? Okay, I never understood it. If you need to make more money, you go where the money's at. That's what I've been told. Just go for the money. Complacence, complacence is is fine if you know you're gonna grow and you know you can get yourself in a good position or good experience to take the experience somewhere else. But you know, if you're just gonna be miserable the whole time, dude, just I don't know, give up. I mean, like that's all I can. That's all I can really say. Just fucking give up. And then the last point is that it's just they just somehow know it's I don't know if it's like a matter of like cadence or what they're saying. They just know what to say that just sets you off. And I mean, you could be like I can go to Chuck E. Cheese. I'll use Chuck E. Cheese as an example, right? I make or the person makes a fucking a pepperoni and onion pizza. That wouldn't be a real pizza, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm not thinking. I go to look or I go to eat a slice because I'm hungry, and then you have the what like you there. You guys know what I'm talking about. They have a coworker that's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you." Why? I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. That's just not something I would do. And then you take a bite and you start having an allergic reaction to the onions, and then they're like, "Oh, see, that's why I wouldn't have done that. I knew you had an allergic reaction to the onions, but you know, you just got to be a freaking jackass about it." And then that is the point where I think it is legally okay to rip them in half. I I think being able to draw and quarter someone with your bare hands is something that it should be legally allowed if someone doesn't get to the point until after you've messed up until you've made your mistake, right? Um Again, this is all personal opinions. I'm just a guy. Past the aspects, I'm gonna put you on a situation of what it's like to work with a bad coworker, right? In case for the audience, for the people who don't work a ton, or even in those situations where you're working by yourself most of the time, right? Imagine a situation: you're playing Clash Royale, and you drop Firecracker at bridge, and you're thinking, "Oh, maybe I could drop something behind it." Do not mind that this is a hog cycle deck because this has nothing to do with what the point I'm trying to say. You drop Firecracker at bridge, and you're thinking, "Oh, maybe I can get some chip damage in. Maybe I'll put a unit, behind the Firecracker to kind of push." Or you're just playing Firecracker to cycle out your deck. And then their response to Firecracker is Mega Knight. And then your immediate reaction is to just break your phone in half, right? Is that not like the appropriate reaction to that counter? Mega Knight to Firecracker? Like I would close my I mean I personally I'm a little bit more sane than most. I would just simply close my phone. I would exit the app close it, don't even I wouldn't even get on it for maybe a few hours, right? But I think it is perfectly fair to throw your phone in this situation. To kind of get a little bit of free talk and closing thoughts in. Um, I think it's okay to slime them. I mean, if they're making your life bad, I think you in if you're looking at your life as yourself, right? Just don't worry about anybody around you, right? Don't worry about friends, family. Just worry about yourself for a second. If the if there are people in your life making your life worse, and you have the choice of dealing with it and suffering, or dealing with it and not suffering, if you get what I mean. Look, if it's up to me, I'm taking the fucking blue pill. You know, like I'm, uh, call me Nickelodeon because I'm sliming them. Like that's just how it is. I'm just gonna slime them. Anyways, this was my EPP schizo Clash Royale sliming coworker presentation that my friends wanted me to make. So thank you for watching.